Good morning. I was reading this morning in Exodus chapter 15, and I was reminded of just the greatness and the power of our God. And I wanted to share some of that with you briefly this morning. I don't know what's going on in your week. I pray it's been a good week for you, but I know that difficulties and trials can come. Most of you know about Coral and David and the struggles they're having. Someone break into their home last night, and just through all of that, I was thinking about it and praying about it, and just being reminded that in the midst of a world where there's a lot of adversity, God is still on His throne, and God is still accomplishing His purposes. In Exodus chapter 15, the writer is reflecting on God's victory. Predominantly, I think the references to God's victory over the Egyptians through the Red Sea, and you'll see some of that in a moment. But just want you to hear it and contemplate it in the context of your own life and perhaps the enemies at times that come against you. In Exodus chapter 15, I'll just start in verse 3. It says, "The Lord is a warrior, the Lord is His name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army He has cast into the sea, and the choicest of His officers are drowned in the Red Sea. The deeps cover them. They went down into the depths like a stone. Thy right hand, O Lord, is majestic in power. Thy right hand, O Lord, shatters the enemy. And in the greatness of Thy excellence, Thou dost overthrow those who rise up against Thee." Let me read that again, verse 7. "And in the greatness of Thine excellence, Thou dost overthrow those who rise up against Thee. Thou dost send forth Thy burning anger, and it consumes them as chaff. And at the blast of Thy nostrils the waters were piled up. The flowing waters stood up like a heap. The deep waters were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My desire shall be gratified against them. I will draw out my sword, my hand shall destroy them." Sometimes we feel like that's what people say about us or act towards us. Verse 10, "Thou didst blow with Thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like Thee among the gods, O Lord? Who is like Thee, majestic in holiness, awesome in praises, working wonders?" Let me just stop right there. The end of verse 11. The writer, Moses, just coming to this realization as he reflects on the victory that God had obviously given them, this miraculous deliverance from the Egyptian army, the most powerful army almost certainly on the earth at that time. Pharaoh's anger burning against them because he couldn't stand the fact that this little group of people, these slaves, it's all they were to him, that their God was more powerful than his God, was more powerful even than him, as he was considered a deity even himself. And through the series of plagues that God brought on them, and the people of Egypt sent the Israelites out, said, go from our midst. But then Pharaoh's anger burned again, and he chased after them. And God used Pharaoh's pride and arrogance to display His own greatness because of what He brought on them. And again in verse 11, "Who is like Thee among the gods, O Lord? Who is like Thee, majestic in holiness, awesome in praises, working wonders?" Awesome in praises, meaning the things that He does are so awesome that they deserve this praise from us, working these wonders all around us. Hey, today in the life that you live, in all that goes on, remember that God is awesome in His praises. He's working wonders. Sometimes we may not always be clear what those are, but we can trust the fact that He is a good God, and that He is accomplishing things for your life that are for your ultimate good. Just pray that you have the opportunity just to stop this morning and just reflect on God's goodness, to offer praises to Him for being the God who works wonders among us. God bless you guys. Look forward to seeing you Sunday.